I was asked a really interesting question a little bit earlier about the upcoming protests that are going to be taking place in the Brentford game after the international break. And to be honest with you, it's not a question that I really think I can readily answer. I'm not too sure I know what the correct answer is. I'm not even too sure if there is a correct answer, truth be told. You may or may not know this, but I do a podcast on Hammers Chat's Patreon channel. If you are a fan of Gio and Gonzo, please feel free to have a look at patreon.com/HammersChat. It's another little way that you can give them your support. And I do it in conjunction with a couple of other Patreons. Michael, who sometimes pops up on Hammers Chat with Gonzo, and Sat, who's popped up from time to time in the past. And it revolved around what is a par score in terms of the attendance numbers that we're expecting, or not expecting, whichever way you want to look at it. And I don't know what the correct answer is for that. I guess there'll be a lot of people that have different opinions on what they think success or failure of the boycott actually looks like on the day. So get them into the comments section below. Please don't forget to drop a like on the stream. Give us a hype if you've got one available. Share this onto your social media platforms. And don't forget to subscribe. And if you're not, please click the button that says subscribed. It's completely free of charge. We don't get your data sensitive information. We just grow and take this channel on a journey to parts unknown. And we thank you very much indeed for your support. So, I don't know. 62,500 at the stadium holds the football events. Not all of that is going to be home fans, of course. So let's say, I don't know, 54, 56. I don't know what the number of home fans usually works out to on a home game. Let's say 54,000. I think if there was the game against Brentford and the teams came out and there was around about 2/3 of the home support that was there, in other words, a third of the home support that wasn't, and it was quite noticeable, I think that's success. I personally do. I think the reason why I think that is you don't want to run before you can walk. And one of the things that's been very much the message is that it's an evolution, not a revolution. We're going to take it one step at a time as far as the process is concerned. It's very much the message that I believe has been conveyed by Hammers United. There was 3,000 that were there at the protest before the Crystal Palace game, and the talk is that when the next one's penciled in for, they're looking for 10,000. So the strategy is to move it, grow it incrementally with each event that is put out there. So I think that the starting point maybe is going to be to have a number that is significant, but not overstretching yourself to the degree where you're sort of going to say, oh well, we want half of the home support to not turn up, or we want 3/4 of the, or none of the home support, because you're giving yourself no wiggle room. You're giving yourself nowhere to go, really. So I think that, this is just my opinion, if there was 40,000 home fans against Brentford, I think that's a start. I think that it gives us, when there's another boycott that will be called down the track, and I suspect there will be, that there's scope to push that number further. And instead of having 1/3 of the home support missing for a game in the Premier League, that maybe it goes from 1/3 to half. Now, I could be wrong. I think Michael, on the podcast that we did on Hammers Chat Patreon channel, I think he turned around and thought that a par score would probably be half. And I'm not saying he's wrong. I think it's one of those things. Very much beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I think it's just one of those where what success looks like to each individual is very much different. But as I say, I'm just of the opinion that you don't want to give yourself too much work to do in that. You don't want to give yourself too lofty a target to aim for, because if you fall short, then ultimately you've failed. I think what you want to do is make each goal an achievable goal. A goal that if you reach it, it's a significant step, but you don't want to overreach yourself, because if you fall short, that could be quite detrimental. That could be something that you don't want to sort of have to deal with, because it would look quite embarrassing, quite honestly. So, but like I say, it's very much a horses for courses sort of thing. But for me, I think that the main thing is that so long as we can, whatever the final number is, that, and obviously the club will spin it, that obviously there was a full house, because they will count people that have bought season tickets, such as myself, and even if season ticket holders don't actually cross the turnstiles on the night, they will count them, because at the end of the day they got their money, despite the fact there's no one physically in the seat. Now, as I understand it, you can lodge a freedom of information request. I don't think you can do it straight away, but I think it's at some point in the future where you can get the true number that attends a Premier League match on the night. So we'll be able to know very quickly what the true number was. And look, people won't be stupid, because as I say, if you've got the announcement of the official attendance of 62,500 and you're looking on Sky and you can see there's huge chunks of the stand that are unoccupied, then you'll know that it's a bogus number. But as I say, what is a pass score? I don't really think I know the answer to that. As I say, I've got a figure in my mind of whatever the home attendance is normally at capacity. If we can get a third of the supporters that don't turn up, that's still a significant number. You do the maths. That's an awful lot of people that have made a conscious decision to abide by the boycott and stay away. And okay, I know there's people that would argue that ultimately Sullivan probably wouldn't care none too much, because he's got the money of a lot of these people that are season ticket holders anyway. But I think it's one step in a journey. Even the longest journey starts with just one step, and this is one of the formative steps of that journey. We've had the protest before the Palace game, we've had the black balloons against Arsenal, obviously the Brentford game that we're speaking about. Then on from that, you've got the Newcastle game where there's going to be the sit-in protest, and then there's other things that are going to be organised down the track, Burnley obviously being another case in point. The black balloons will continue in all the away games, as I understand it. But yeah, so what is success? Like I say, everybody's got their own opinions on that, and that's where I'm asking you for yours, dear viewer. So comment section is below. Get your thinking caps on and tell me what you think success looks like in terms of the numbers that need to stay away on the night for the Brentford game. Don't forget to give us a like on this stream and a hype if you've got one. Share this on your social media platforms, and if you're not subscribed, click subscribe. It's free to do, and we don't get any data sensitive information. It just simply grows the channel into something a little bit bigger than it is right now. Thanks for your time. Stay safe. Come on, you irons.